Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a general reading for the sign of Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Leo, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, the information regarding that can be found in the About section of my YouTube page. And I thank you so much in advance. So Leo, I hope that you're doing well. I wanted to show you this beautiful ruby tower that I have on my desk today for your reading and this series of general readings. It's just really magical. I hope you can see the richness of this ruby color. It has some pockets and some drusies in there, and I wanted these readings, I was telling the water signs, I wanted these readings to feel like sultry and, you know, sexy and just yummy. I don't know where sexy came from. That's only for you, Leo, so we'll see how it goes. I'm doing your reading today, getting an overall energy from the Elemental Oracle, and then your tarot with the Light Seers tarot deck. So, cards have been pre-shuffled. For Leo, please, Spirit. I wasn't going to do readings today, and then something happened, and something good happened, and I thought, you know what, get out of bed, do some readings, it'll do you good. So I'm happy to be here. Number 19, which reduces to the Sun card in the Major Arcana, Leo energy. So you showed up in your own reading. The larger word is plants, but the word above it is growth. What a spectacular energy for you today, Leo. Plants, not just flora and fauna to me, but plants as in they plant, they're planting, she plants, he plants, like the seed of growth, the germination, the coming to fruition, the whole process of growth is what I see here for you. And you can see, I think this is elk. I don't really know, but a very formidable animal. You can see here on the backs of this animal, there's growth. It's kind of like, not that you've been rising on the backs of other people. That is certainly not what I want to say, and I hope that's not the case. It's more the things that you've been carrying on your back, and that you may not have known what the purpose was at the time for that kind of struggle, but I think you're going to start to see the fruition of that if you haven't already. But if you really kind of look back on your trajectory thus far in your life, you've gone through so many phases already of tremendous growth and expansion. And with the number 19, the Sun card being referenced, it's only going to become more clear to you how far you can go with this growth. It's very strange. Outside my window, there are these wisps of white, and they're feathers, but not full feathers. They're just like almost little baby feathers. I saw like 2 or 3 now. So it's kind of like your spirit guides are here. Kind of felt like this energy, this kind of wispy feathers. It was enough for me to take note. It is a little windy outside, so maybe it's just kicking up some stuff, but I think your spirit guides are around. So we get 4 cards for the base spread, 4 cards for clarifier, past, present, future, and advice from spirit. Oh, wow. Okay. Leo, I feel like this is going to be a good one. Sometimes you guys get some tough readings, and maybe that's, you know, what you've been going through. So hopefully that, yeah, hopefully all of these tough times are subsiding, because I can see some closure here. 8 cards on the table, starting with the past energy. Number 21, the World card, another beautiful major arcana. This ends the major arcana. So in the tarot, it goes from 0 to 21, so 22 cards in total, 0 to 21. It talks about the Fool's journey and taking a great leap of faith as adults and going through the whole process of reckoning and discovery and an uncovering of our gifts and manifestation and strife and triumph, deliberation, spiritual questioning, the whole thing. And then by the time we reach the World card, we've closed out one cycle of learning to open up another cycle of learning, because that's, you never stop learning, and you never should. So you're closing out a much needed, you're having a much needed closure of a cycle that essentially you've learned all you need to learn in this phase, and you're ready to move on to the next. I see this kind of sacred geometry here, and anytime I see that, I think that things are becoming more spiritually complex, which is a good thing, in my opinion. When things become more spiritually complex, we start asking bigger questions and start getting bigger answers. So in the past energy, I see you welcoming this kind of open heart chakra, open solar plexus, just open arms, and just saying, I'm so thankful for what I've learned. I'm so thankful for this cycle because I'm still standing, and I am grateful for what's next. It is clarified, though, by the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. So it tells me a couple things. The 9 of Pentacles is pre-Empress energy, and that means that this is a divine feminine energy, although it doesn't relate to gender, it just relates to energy. Somebody who is understanding of their own independence and power and ability to have things come to fruition. If we're talking about growth and expansion, this is a great card in the minor arcana. It represents not only pentacles, coins, finances, but also opportunities. And as she's reaching up, it's like taking advantage of the opportunities, understanding when an opportunity is in front of us. It's very singular, independent energy. And here the card is in reverse. So to me, I don't actually see it as like loss in the sense of loss of finances. I mean, that could have happened, but it's more about this recognition that we may need to reach out to our soul tribe for help, that we can't always, it would be nice if we could always be in an independent energy, but we're social creatures and sometimes we need help. And so that's kind of what I'm feeling from this, because there's such a joyfulness, a happiness here, and here there's such a beautiful, a warmth, a glow up, that it shows me, or it says to me, that there could have been some something in your past where you said, you know, I can't be the only one that cares anymore. I need other people to have a buy-in. I need other people to contribute, not just to me, but to a greater good, right? So I'm going to get a clarifier on the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. 2 cards came out. 5 of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, yeah. So 5 of Wands, which is a fire energy, which is your energy. 5 of Wands talks about chaos and conflict. Internal chaos and conflict. You can see here there's almost competition. I don't know if it was competition for resources, but I almost feel like there was this battle because there could have been a competition for resources with others. But then you also recognize that you don't have to compete, because Spirit brings you something that is uniquely for you. With the Ace of Pentacles, aces always bring new opportunity from Spirit. And in the Pentacle energy, the Earth energy, we're talking about things in the 3D, things in the material world, opportunities, doors opening, crucial conversations, finances. That's only for you. There's abundance everywhere in the world, and everyone has access to it in different ways, right? Although a lot of people would argue with that, which I would understand. But it's also about how we behave when opportunity knocks, right? There's so many opportunities of my life that I just allowed to pass by because I was scared. So many promotions, the opportunity for more money, so many things that I was just like, no, no, no. The opportunity to travel, no, no, no. Just out of fear. Try not to do that anymore, but it's hard. So it's not just overcoming your own inner turmoil about something, like overcoming your fears and kind of cascading upon yourself, but also this idea that you don't need to compete with other people because Spirit has something uniquely for you. It's weird because I see you having a conscious awareness of that, but I don't necessarily see, I mean, you could have taken it and planted something with it. So it could have been just the germinating seed, the idea, the creativity, the crucial conversation that you had, that you planted the seed. Maybe you planted the seed in somebody's mind and you're just patiently waiting for it to grow. That can be a very tedious and slow process. Because it's weird, because Spirit's not showing me like you grabbing it by the reins. I don't actually see that. Maybe because this energy feels so like there's no grabbing here. There's an allowance. There's an allowing of energy to come in. But it's more divine feminine energy, the receiving energy. I don't necessarily see the divine masculine energy just yet. And if I do see it, it is chaotic. It is, I just heard the expression grasping at straws. Which is, I don't really see Leos just taking any old thing, taking whatever you can get. That's not your style. Especially because here they're reaching for literal fire. They're reaching for... Okay, this is something for somebody. For a Leo out there, where maybe what Spirit had to offer you was not good enough in your eyes. It was not big enough. It was not ambitious enough, at least in your thinking. You didn't see how it could be more ambitious. And so you went after like the big kahuna over here. That's not for all. That's just for somebody though. Yes, you could have gotten opportunities, but they weren't what you really wanted. So you were waiting. So I understand that. Because you don't want to settle. You don't want to settle. Although, kind of begs the question of where do you end up? Because in the present energy, Four of Cups in reverse, Four of Swords, clarifying it. So double four. Four of Cups in the upright talks about complacency and apathy. Just accepting what is. It is what it is. Not understanding that there's this beautiful, another ace from Spirit, this is the Ace of Cups that Spirit wants to give to you, right? When the card is in reverse, it's you know, it shows me that you were looking at that ace. So maybe this Ace of Pentacles, the material world concerns, like maybe it was a good opportunity, but not something that you were super excited about. The Ace of Cups, however, from Spirit is an opportunity that speaks to your heart space. Whereas this might speak to like your wallet, which both are kind of important in the world we live in. But then it's clarified by the Four of Swords, which is a card of rest. A period of rest after a heartache, heartbreak, or disappointment. You know, I've had this deck for a long time, and I'm very well aware that she is sleeping inside of a nest. But I never thought about the bird that nest belongs to. And suddenly this energy became very, very vulnerable. Almost like a hawk was going to come down and scoop you up. Do you feel vulnerable in times of rest? Do you feel like you're not doing enough if you're resting? Can I have a clarifier for the present energy, please? High Priestess. Okay. There's purpose in resting, and Spirit is showing me that it is to allow for quietude, the mind to be quiet and still, in order to bring in the downloads and the messages and the ideas that Spirit has for you. High Priestess, number 2 in the Major Arcana, representing Pisces energy, talks about somebody who sits at the veil between worlds. So it's somebody who has spiritual gifts, psychic awareness, clair abilities, clairaudience, clairsentience. And just as I said clair abilities, I felt the tunneling in my ear, like your spirit guides, my spirit guides are gathering around. It's that ability to connect with the spiritual world that in this state, this is allowed to grow and to foster. So you could be resting simply to be able to listen to your intuition, which perhaps you haven't connected to in a while. That's very powerful energy, the High Priestess. She sees all and says nothing. She's notoriously mute as an archetype. She doesn't say much. But she can read a room. She can take the temperature. She can understand what people are thinking. So you're really trying to, and maybe that's part of this growth process, because now I see the growth here in the antlers as like your spidey senses kind of reaching up and allowing Spirit to kind of come in and populate like your neural pathways with ideas. You know, for the longest time, so I've always been known as a person that gives very good advice, even though comparatively, I wouldn't say I've lived a sheltered life. That's, you know, that's not what I would say, but it is a little bit more, what's the word I want to use? The friends in my life are much more well-traveled than I am, for example. But I've always been able to give really sound, really good advice, and I just always thought that that was me. And then as I got older and had my spiritual awakening, I realized, oh no, I was channeling messages from Spirit the entire time. Which is not to say I don't have my own good ideas, but I also know and recognize where to give the credit to. I am merely just like the vessel. And so I see something like that for you in this. It's kind of like understanding these like boop, 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 all these ideas coming into your brain. Yes, they're a part of you because you are a divine being, but there's also, it's like has to be this recognition that you're connecting to a higher source, your spirit guides, your higher self, in order to allow the flow to come in. It's almost like Spirit is saying, we are the ones that get in our own way. We meaning our ego. The idea of super independence, right? Then it's like, I take credit for everything I've accomplished in life and no one else helped me and I did everything in a bubble. I'm not saying that you are this way at all. However, Spirit wants me to kind of hone in on this energy and say it's important to recognize where we have had help, a little bit of luck, recognized the opportunities when they were right in front of us and took advantage of them, and maybe it was divinely guided, perhaps. I don't think it's like your spirit guide saying, oh, they don't ever give us credit. Guys, they never give us credit. It's not about that, but it's just about a recognition that you have spirit guides, that you are connecting to a higher source, and that you're part of that. And that it's important to work in tandem with that energy. Future potential, 2 of Cups. Do you like how I made that transition? Future energy, 2 of Cups. 2 of Cups can talk about divine partnership. So you and a partner, if you have one, or you and a very close friend or a business partner. But today I see it as the connection between you and your higher aspect, you and your higher self, your soul. Because we've got the us here in the 3D world, and then we've got the us up there in the 5D. Right? Kind of, I don't want to make it as dramatic as like pulling the strings, pulling our strings, but could be. But I see this closeness, it's like an intimacy now happening, and a recognition that there is a higher purpose for you. There is a reason why you're here to, you know, I don't know that everybody is a light worker, to be honest with you, but if you are one of those people, then as a light worker, you are here to infuse your little pocket of the world with grace and positivity and strength in order to enable others to lead their own lives with compassion and kindness and abundance. But it has to start with us. And how does it start with us? It's when we become more connected to who we are internally. This is clarified by the Emperor in reverse, Aries energy. Usually, the Emperor in reverse would talk about somebody, you know, this is somebody who's always in control. Number 4 of the major arcana, power of all 4 kings of the tarot. Somebody's like CEO energy, totally in control. It's interesting because for you today, I don't see the Emperor as like you being the Emperor. I see this as the ego. The ego. And as you start to connect to your higher self, the ego starts to dissipate, right? Things start to close out for that ego, and then that's when the fear can kick in, right? What is the purpose of the ego? I mean, the ego is there to protect us, but an overactive, overinflated ego looks like pride. It looks like arrogance. It looks like narrow-mindedness. And I see you stepping out of that energy for something a little bit more collaborative. It's the first time I've ever seen the Emperor like that, but that's how I see it. Or rather, that's the channeled message. Yeah, look at this. So, now, Queen of Swords, Eight of Wands in reverse. Queen of Swords now, it's like, okay, in the future potential, great. I'm connecting to my intuition and my higher self, fantastic. I'm releasing egoistic tendencies, great, like to see it. But now I'm looking for, I'm trying to be a little bit more discerning. Queen of Swords, Libra, Gemini energy, but more, for me, more Libra. I'm trying to look at things in a discerning way, almost with a little bit of coldness, just because I want to look at the facts of things. What does it mean? It's almost like I see you questioning it. Not in a bad way, but just in an inquisitive way. Because the sword suit is all about learning and thinking, the thinking mind, the cerebral space. The cups is all about feelings and emotions. So it's almost like before we get away with ourselves and just feeling like ooey gooey, I want to ask more questions. I want to see this more clearly. I want to understand how my gifts work. Because this is fast action, fast communication. You got this in reverse. So I see a little bit of frustration because Spirit is showing it to me right now. You know, when you start to go through what I would call a spiritual awakening, or connection with the self, you don't have to call it spiritual awakening, connection with the self and with the higher aspect and with the universe, whatever. You start asking a lot of questions. You don't always get the answers right away. In fact, you rarely get the answers right away. Because it's like a muscle that you have to constantly work. So if I were to say to the universe, what is the meaning of life? I could sit here in meditation and think about it and allow something to come in. But there's also participation on my part. I have to interact with life in order to figure out its meaning. And so there's a kind of push and pull. And I feel like you feel impatient with that process. You know it's important. And you're putting on your best thinking cap and looking towards it with meaning. But it is slow going. And Spirit's advice is quite stunning, actually, now that I think about it. Knight of Swords in reverse and the Hierophant. This is Major Arcana, number 5, Taurus energy. This is beautiful. Knight of Swords. Talking about that impatience. It's like I see you as this knight, wanting to run, wanting to go after, wanting to figure out. Anything in the sword suit is all about thinking, remember? So just you wanting to race after something and express some profound truths. But I think you're feeling a little stuck. Okay, because the seed that has been planted, it takes time to grow like anything else. And it's almost like, I don't have time, I gotta go. And in a way, the more impatient you are with this process, the more Spirit is going to say, sit down. Sit down, Leo. And just be in the present moment. Because in this present moment, look at this, look at his face. The Hierophant is the kind of connection, the liaison between this world and the spiritual world. So usually they call this the Pope of the Tarot. And it talks about, it could reference a spiritual leader or spiritual connection. I see that feather again. It can talk about higher level commitment like marriage. It could talk about profound sacred texts that you're reading or consulting. But whatever it is, Spirit is saying, sit down. Enjoy the process of questioning, because perhaps for some of you, you've never asked these questions before, questions quite like this. What does it mean to inhabit the High Priestess energy? What am I supposed to do with that? How am I supposed to help others? How can I help myself? Right? These are all questions that you could be asking right now, and Spirit is saying patience. I don't see the Temperance card, but just his posturing is just like, we're in it for the long haul. So kind of tuck in and get cozy with it. Right? So the Fool and the Queen of Wands in reverse came out. So this is interesting. As the last two cards of the reading. Queen of Wands is your energy. The Fool starts the Major Arcana, number 0. Queen of Wands in the reverse is frustrated, angry, impatient. And it's almost, this is all Spirit's advice, this last column. Spirit's just saying, don't be like that, Leo. Just because you're still in this process of discovery doesn't mean that you can't still operate in your highest regard, looking fabulous, spreading the light that you understand so far in life, right? And making a beautiful impact. I mean, maybe some of you want to make an even bigger impact, which I commend you for. But the impact that you have made thus far is really, really important. And Spirit is saying, don't lose sight of that. Every person that you meet and you share your kindness with and your unique self with, that's another person that you're helping to raise their vibration, because you're raising your own vibration. So maybe you're not helping the entire world, but helping one person, right? We help one person, we help the world. If we show kindness, that person will show kindness. And another feather went by. I don't know what's going on. I hope that bird is okay and all these feathers came from. But this is in reverse to show me what state you may be in the future that Spirit is saying rally against this idea that you have to know everything to be fabulous. That would take all the mystery out of life in a way. The Fool card in reverse, there's a little bit of reluctancy to take the risk, to take the step with Spirit. You will in your own time. It's all in your own time. So that's your reading, Leo. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Leo.